She decided, she chose it. Okay, so we are gonna talk a little bit about, what we're gonna, like, what you need for math this year and stuff, and then we're also gonna do a game at the end. But, first of all, I have just 3 rules right here, and, they cover pretty much everything you can think of. And so the first one is be ready. So what do you think some things could mean for be ready? So like be ready for math class. What are some things that might?
Be ready to be ready to do some type of work or project.
Be ready to have.
What would that mean though? Like be ready. What would make you be ready?
Like get your notebook out, pencil.
Yeah, have your stuff with you. Yeah, have what you need for math class. And this year that should be a little easier than it has been because you can't leave everything in your locker like we have before, and so that should be pretty easy to do that. Is to just have your stuff with you.
That just gives us more things to carry.
True. What if you've had homework? Okay, what would be ready mean if you've had homework and you're coming into math and you had homework the night before? Did you get?
Like if you had paper homework, then you would put it on your table and then you would wait till you say give it to us.
Okay, yeah, or have it. Have your homework done and have it with you. Okay, that would be being ready for class, not coming in and, oh, I can't find my homework or I forgot I had homework or whatever. So have it done and have it with you. What if you have a test or quiz that day and you're coming into math? What would be ready mean? Harrison?
You get prepared for the test or the quiz.
Right, come in ready for it. You know, don't come in, oh, we have a test? That's the worst. But being ready, knowing that you're ready to take it, you feel good that you've, done what you need to do to be ready to take it. What about if we're getting ready to start class, and let's say I have you first thing in the morning or I have you right after lunch, or sometimes you can get tired right after lunch, and you're laying on your desk like that. Is that being ready for class?
So you step straight, back straight.
Exactly. You're sitting up, ready to learn, okay? So all of those things would be ready. What about be respectful? And this could be things and people. Things and people. So, Gia, what's something that could be respectful?
Like if the teacher was talking during like a math, like something that you need to learn for like homework, and you didn't pay attention, and you weren't like keeping your eyes on the teacher.
Yeah, being respectful and not paying attention would be not being respectful. Okay, why would it be disrespectful to your friend and to me if we're doing math and you say something to your friend?
You're taking their attention away.
Exactly.
It leads to others' attention.
Exactly. You're not only did you not hear what I said, they didn't hear it either because they turned to see what you said, and then also you're not being respectful to me about listening. Okay, and especially in math, because what if I'm working a problem and it's got 4 steps and I'm on step 2? Your friend says something to me, you look over, and then I'm on step 4. When you turn around, you're going to be like, wait, what's happening? And so it's not being respectful to your friends to do that. What about in my class? You'll do a lot of games and things. So what if you're doing a game in a group or a pair? How might be respectful come into that situation, Liana?
Don't get up all in your face. All in their face.
Be respectful.
Like, don't knock down their cards or something.
Right, and be respectful. So if it's like, if it's their turn and every subject, some people are better at some things than others. If they're taking too long to answer the math question, just be respectful. And, even if math is faster for you than it is the person just, be respectful and that kind of thing. And like if you're taking turns, being respectful there. What about, same thing with, you do a lot of games and activities in my room, so you see a lot of stuff in here, and you'll be using a lot of my stuff, like dice and different games and things like that. So what would be respectful as far as like all of my stuff that you'll be using this year, Harrison?
Don't bend it, don't break it, because it's not yours. You didn't pay for it.
Yeah, exactly. Just be respectful of it, and I'll typically give you a little bit of warning. But like, let's say you have a board game and it's got a lot of pieces to it. And I'll say, okay, we've got 5 minutes. We need to get the games put up. Look around your area, make sure you get all of the pieces. back in the box, you know, that kind of thing. That would be being respectful, yes.
Also, like, don't, like, go draw on it, and, like, don't, like, throw it.
Exactly, exactly. Like, I should never, like, walk in the room and see, like, one of my foam dies, like, flying across the room, okay? So, being respectful of other people's things, and, other people's things, like, for instance, let's say you need a pencil. It's fine if you ask a friend for a pencil, but don't just go over and, like, take one from them, okay? So that would be under being respectful. What about being responsible? Several of the things we've mentioned already about having your homework with you, bringing your stuff to class with you, that kind of thing would be under be responsible as well. But what would be some things maybe that we haven't mentioned yet? Gia?
So, since if like we were studying for a test and we didn't study for a test, and then that's not being responsible, and also if you didn't do your homework.
True, that's very true. What about if you're leaving my classroom? So it's time to go, you're walking out the door. How would being responsible go with that, Liana?
Put some hand sanitizer on your hands.
Okay.
And stand by the locker and wait for your class.
Okay, she said, yeah, getting hand sanitizer, that would be being responsible, and, yeah, kind of getting, so if you look in a classroom and you see kids still in there, definitely kind of get out of the way so that they can come out the door. But, like right now, Gia has her iPad on the table, Liana has her notebook and stuff like that. So what would go with that for when they leave my room at the end of this period? What would be responsible, like that kind of thing?
You clean up your area, you push in your chair,
And
move it. Give yourself, keep your stuff.
get your stuff. Yes, take your stuff with you. Okay, being responsible for your things. So getting your things and making sure that they go out the door with you. Okay, another thing in middle school that you get a little bit more responsibility with is, like, well, starting next week when we go back to our normal schedule, you'll have study hall every day for the last period, which is awesome because you have about 45 minutes to get homework done. That's a lot of time. You can get a lot done.
And I also have to go after.
Yeah, you'll get a lot done. And so, but one of the things that's going to be, that goes in with being responsible in study hall, the one cool thing about study hall is all of the teachers have study hall at the same time. So let's say that you're in math class and we did something that you were kind of like, I don't really understand that well. What would be the responsible thing to do since I have study hall the same time as you in the afternoon? What would be the responsible thing to do?
To ask, what did you do, or I forgot this.
Yeah, come and see me. Okay? And the cool thing is we all have study hall at the same time. So like if you're in my study hall and there was something in science you didn't understand, you can go see Miss Murray. If you're in Miss Murray's study hall and there was something in math you didn't understand, you can come see me. So all of us are available during that time. And so you've got to be responsible and make sure that, you know, because what'll happen is, you know, if someone's parent like emails me and says, you know, so-and-so is really not understanding, you know, that, and I said, they haven't come and seen me in study hall one time. You know, it may have been 4 days since it was something that they didn't understand. So you've got to be a response, because you have to think like in lower school, your teachers didn't have that many students. Like I have basically 50 students, and so you've got to kind of, you know, okay, I need to go see, you know, Dr. Graham about something that I didn't understand. So that goes with also with being responsible, because y'all get a little bit more responsibility as a middle schooler, as you know, because you don't have to follow a teacher everywhere like you did in the lower school. So you get a little bit more responsibility in middle school. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to put together your math notebook. Okay, and so hopefully you have a notebook that looks like this for math that was on the supply list. So if you don't have one, you need to get one. So you need a 3-ring binder.
It's in Mom's car.
So just go basically, if you don't have one with you, then you need to write down somewhere, like, because I'm gonna tell you what the sections need to be in it and stuff like that. But you need one of these, and you also need a composition book.
I do have a composition.
I do have a composition.
Okay, so you need these 2 things for math. So again, if you don't have it, just get it. And you can get these anywhere. You can get them at Kroger even. Okay, so you need a 3-ring binder and a
Walmart.
composition book.
You can get it at Walmart.
I do have my composition.
Go ahead and get it out, because we're gonna do something to it too.
But my notebook, I did leave it at my house.
You'll just write down what needs to be in it, what sections are gonna be in it. Okay, so since you have this, we'll go ahead and look at what we're gonna do with this. The composition book, this is actually gonna be your textbook. We're gonna make your textbook. And so we're actually gonna write in here, we're gonna glue stuff in here, I mean, we're gonna put all sorts of stuff in here, but this is gonna be your math textbook, we're gonna make it. Okay? Each time we have a new chapter, I'm gonna give you one of these little tabs like this. And so we're gonna go ahead and put your tab in for chapter 1. And so I'm gonna give it to you and you can just stick it right here, okay, at the top of the page. And then like when we have chapter 2 in a little bit, you'll put it, you know, in chapter 3 and 4 and so on. But chapter 1, we'll go ahead and put that little tab in. I'm gonna give you one. So you're gonna write chapter 1 on this page, and then you're gonna put a 1 on this little tab, okay? So 1 on the tab, and you can write chapter 1. We're not writing anything else on this page. This is like the cover page for chapter 1. So if you have your composition book, I'll go ahead and give you your tab.
On the red tab, do we put chapter 1 on it?
You can put chapter 1 or just 1, either.
Or like CH or something. CH1.
And also, make sure your name is somewhere on that composition book. Because I've had it before where I've picked one up that someone left and then there's no name in it. It's happened a million times. So just make sure your name's in there somewhere.
We put our tab like on the top.
Just like that. So it's sticking out the side. And then later on, we'll have another tab like when we go to chapter 2 and so on.
I don't have a tab.
I didn't give you one because I didn't know if you had your composition book yet. Okay, so this way, later on this week, we'll start chapter 1 and then we'll already have this ready to go.
Can I put it in between it?
It goes on that very first page. So chapter 1, where you just wrote that, it goes right there on that first page. Because that's kind of like the cover page for chapter 1, and then we'll turn it and we'll start over here. Okay, so the reason I wanted you to have a pocket in this binder is because your composition book will go in the pocket.
Mine has 4 pockets.
The composition book will go in the pocket, and then you don't have to keep up with more than one thing. Everything's right here. Here's your math folder and math binder, and it's got your composition book right there in the front. Okay? And everything I give you this year will have holes in it so that it can always go in here. Okay? Everything I give you will have holes in it so it can go right there. Okay, so your math notebook is going to need 4 sections. Okay, and on the supply list was tab dividers. And so you should have tab dividers, and you'll need 4 tab dividers, those right there. Yeah. Everybody see those? Liana has, yeah, you need 4 of those for math. Okay, so if you don't have those, you need to get those too.
All of them?
You're gonna write 4 different things. I'm gonna tell you what to put on them.
Okay, because I have those tab stickers to put on.
And I'm gonna give you a sheet that has this on there in a second, but I'll go ahead and put it up here. So you're gonna have 4 sections. So the first one is gonna be handouts. Okay, so that's like anything I give you, like a sheet that has something on there that you need. I'll say put this in your handout section, and you'll just clip it right in there. It'll have 3 holes in it. So that'll be what your first tab divider needs to say. Okay, your second one's gonna say homework. Okay, and again, I'm gonna give you a sheet in just a second that's gonna have this on there. So if you don't have it, you can do it at home. Okay, the next one is gonna be quizzes. And the last one is gonna be tests. Okay, so we'll keep everything you need for math in this notebook. So we'll have handouts, homework, quizzes, and tests.
So those go into like little pockets in a binder.
What's the difference between a quiz and a test?
Quizzes are over less stuff and they don't count as much. Tests count more.
They don't like count as a grade.
So like if we have a long chapter, like halfway through we'll have a quiz, and at the end of the chapter we'd have a test. So it's just kind of a check in between, and they don't count as much as quizzes, as tests do. Okay, I'm gonna give you this sheet, and this is the sheet I was telling you that will have this on there, but goes in the front of your notebook. So when you open your math notebook, the first thing you wanna see is this sheet. And it says all about math instead of ALL, all with an owl. And this is your, any questions you have about math or your parents, everything's pretty much answered on this sheet. So this is gonna go in the front of your notebook. Okay, in the front of your notebook. And we're not gonna read through all this, I'm just gonna tell you about some of the things on here. Okay, so if you come down to the bottom of this, it says materials needed. So we're gonna use glue sticks, we're gonna use rulers, we're gonna use colored pencils, we're gonna use all those things this year, but these are the things that you basically need most days. First thing you need is that composition notebook that we just put the tab in. Then you need your math notebook, and right there you'll see where it says, Harrison, you see right here, it says keep all handouts, homework, quizzes, and tests. So it tells you right there, those are your 4 sections that you'll need in this notebook, and it says we'll organize each section by tab dividers, which we just did. You'll need a personal whiteboard, that was on your supply list, and an eraser. It doesn't have to be an eraser, it can be a washcloth, but it just needs to be something that you can wipe off your board with. Pencils, it says always have, extra pencils if possible. I have pencils if you need one, but you always wanna have a pencil in math. And then red pens, okay? Because we're gonna check your homework. I'm not gonna check your homework. Okay, and so I'm gonna talk to you real quick about how I'm gonna do homework, because it's probably different than you've done it before. I will not take your homework up. Okay, I will not take your homework up. It's gonna have holes in it, it's gonna stay in your homework section. So when you come in, if you've had homework, you're just gonna open to your homework section, you don't need to take it out. I'm gonna walk around to see if you've done it. If you've done it, you get 100.
Just if you've done it, not like.
If you've done it, you get 100. So basically, what should you have for the homework part of your grade?
On 100.
100. And if you don't, it's only because you didn't do your homework or you didn't finish your homework. And I don't give a ton of homework anyway, so you should not. And so then we'll grade it together. So then I'll say, okay, we're gonna check your homework again. It's not coming out of your homework section. It's staying in there. And I'll say, okay, what'd you get for number 3? And we'll say the answer. And if you got it wrong, you'll fix it. Okay? Yes.
So you said that we have 4 sections.
Mm-hmm.
Is it in our
Handout. It's right here. Handouts, homework, quizzes, and tests in this notebook.
I'm confused. In the notebook, my notebook doesn't have 4 sections. It's only got 2 topics.
You need to get 4 tab dividers. You can buy a package of tab dividers by themselves. You need 4 of them. Just like, see what Liana has, those 4,
I bought these at Target.
Yeah,
and I bought
those tab dividers, you want 4 of those. Okay, now this is where the responsible comes in again. So I'm not grading your homework, you are. So let's say you grade your homework and you felt like, yeah, I did pretty well in that homework. I knew how to do it all, and then you miss half the problems. Okay, so what do you need to do if you've missed half the problems on your homework?
Ask for help.
You need to come see me, yeah. Okay, and especially with math, you don't want to let it get out of control. So let's say there's 4 days in a row that you did poorly on your homework. You don't want to wait till the 4th day and come say, on 4 different homework, you want to, the day you realize, okay, if I need to go see Dr. Graham, you need to come see me, okay? Because you'll be grading your own homework. So why should you never ever need to come tell me I can't find my homework since it has holes in it and you have a binder that it goes in?
If you do that, I bet you're gonna take some grade off your homework.
Well, if you put it in your binder when you leave my class and you clip it in, how can you lose it? The only way you can lose it is if you're going out and you have a single sheet and you're leaving with it, is if you will clip it in your notebook and you don't even take it out. You can do it in the notebook and then shut it, and then remember, I'm not grading it, so it's not coming out, it's staying in your homework section, okay? So you really can't lose your homework. Yes?
Can you help me get this one in?
Hold on. Let's, I'm gonna make it a hole. Let me cut it.
Graham?
Yes. need your own math notebook. It needs to be separate from everything else. It'll be full. This will be full with stuff by the time we get done.
With the school year.
So I'll have that.
You need your own math,
And then
just for math.
And then I'll
I'm
put
so
4
glad.
sections into it.
Yes.
I'm so glad. I love
And then label them.
And then you'll stick stuff, as I hand it to you, you'll clip it into the sections.
So all I have to do is just put it in
Okay, oh, and when we have a quiz or test, anytime we have a quiz or test, we will play a review game the class period before. So I'll split you into 2 teams and we'll play some kind of review game. It might be up here, it might be something where you get up and do something, but we will always do a review game. And so you should never ever come into math and be like, oh, we have a test, because what did we do the class period before?
Review.
A review game. Yeah. And that's another thing. Students come in, do we have a test today? And I was like, have we played a review game? No. And then I'm like, do we have a test? No. So again, we'll play a review game. And how I do that is the winning team, everybody gets 10 tickets on the winning team.
everybody like in our team. Whoa.
So that's what we'll do for quizzes and tests.
100 tickets.
Don't forget too, if you haven't come up with something to put your tickets in, you want to make sure you do that. Because like you saw, like when I teach, I'm walking around handing you individual tickets, and especially when I'm handing you individual ones, they're small, and it's really easy to lose them if they're not enclosed in something. Okay, so also just make sure that you've got that. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do a game, and since there's only 3 of y'all, we will